How's this? All right. My name is Bronwen Exter. I graduated in 1994. 90s folk? And was a student of Dave's. I returned to teach social studies here in 2010 when Karen retired, and was an administrative intern with our new principal, Keith, last year. I want to describe how 52 years after the Lavender proposal, we at LACS stand on the shoulders of our founders to do the continual work of raising up humans to meet the moment with curriculum that is life itself and the ways we are called to be beholden to one another. LACS is a school, as you know, that holds multiple truths. There are those for whom the workings and vocabulary of our philosophy seem like nonsense and noise. We have portraits of educators who inspired Dave on the gym walls, and to some those are just faces in the background. Some students are just sent here, they need a place to land, maybe you or they. Or somebody told them it was the next right spot or their last stop, or maybe they were curious, out of place elsewhere, or new to town. Every year, some students walk the halls with one foot out the door, feeling apart. And they might be falling apart, not knowing whether this school can hold them, tales of it being a lifeline notwithstanding. This short tribute to Dave Lehman is for those members of our community as much as it is for us and for him. I teach the ideas of the educators on the gym wall in my public education and democracy course, inspired by Dave's alternative education class. I asked him about the portraits a few years back and why he chose them. Jonathan Kozel, Paulo Freire, A.S. Neal, John Holt, John Dewey, Margaret Mead, Septima Clark, and Deborah Meyer. Those names are an incantation. When ASM gets thorny and tensions rise around our school philosophy, my eyes travel to that wall. What would Dave's longtime friend Jonathan Kozel see in the demographics of privilege and need among the students who still pile on each other across the gym floor, but a reminder to give our total attention to each and every single child? Dave met Paulo Freire in Chicago. Freire would never let staff block the Sunrise students' proposal this year to ban AI. But how? A glimpse at Dr. Dave's own notes on Freire point the way. Phrases like, "I realize I have more to learn from the bottom, not from the top." And sometimes the best way for me to talk is not to talk, but to be silent and listen. And would A.S. Neal recognize his fingerprints on what might seem like lavish student choice and swaths of time dedicated to project splits? Dave believed students must be the drivers of their own education, deciding what to learn, when, how, and from whom, if not from themselves. And on down the line, D-schooler John Holt offered us a durable idea that cured Dave of his early teaching migraines brought on by the fear that students would ask him a question about biology he could not answer. Birthing the phrase, "I don't know, let's look into that." And the idea that it's all our jobs to learn to use our minds well. John Dewey, no slouch. Dewey calls us back from the brink of our galloping freedoms with the parallel freedoms brought by knowing the way all our shoulders square when we are given responsibility and experiences that are real. Dave met Margaret Mead at a conference where he presented his dissertation. It is her work that reminds us always to trust the young with serious business. All of us rise to our best when we do this. Election season approaches. We follow Septima Clark's blueprint, low ego, high impact, our calling to raise the thousands of leaders we need to demand voting rights continually. And last, back in the classroom, is it possible ever to do enough justice to what Dave's friend and colleague Deborah Meyer named the power of their ideas? The ideas of the young, not the same as ours. Dave credited Deb Meyer for why he kept one foot in the classroom, always, and perhaps that is why so many of us who took his classes ended up doing the amazingly joyful and complex work of teaching. In the recurring dream I have every summer before school starts, I am rummaging in a noisy room. It's a class that wasn't supposed to start yet. I'm there with a startled and frantic knowledge that I might pull something off, maybe even something great, if only I can stop the noise. I know I have a lesson plan somewhere, something I might use here in my file cabinet, if only I can find it. And I move to speak, but my voice doesn't carry, like I cannot squeeze my fist. But instead of turning around, I'm rummaging. What's the worst that could happen if I just turned around, knowing Dave's teaching DNA runs through my core, to ask the right question, to hold space? When young people's hands rise slowly into the air to speak, somewhere inside I sink to my knees in gratitude, my hands outstretched towards them. This electric potential of the classroom, this absolute attention to the ideas of the young and the centering of their voices, this passionate belief in democratic process, its braid with community and relationships, this devotion to a great curiosity that seems to stop time, this flow is the way of being with young people that I learned from Dr. Dave Lehman. Every year, I'm stunned by the gifts the young people who graduate from LACS continue to offer the world. The kids remain sassy. The license they enjoy to put any poster up on the wall, like the one with a picture that says, "Want to learn banjo?" and a bunch of tear-off strips that say, "No thanks, no thanks, no thanks." Or the collages they leave on my desk with little origami chickens made out of gum wrappers. It used to be they'd ask to go outside on the first sunny spring day. Now they insist on going outside for class, even when it's snowing. One brought in a solo stove and s'mores fixings, then led our discussion right here. Another student, the one with no phone, who taught herself Morse code for fun, wrote this, and I'll close. I think democracy is the thing I feel in my hands, like molded clay in the middle of a really good conversation or argument. Democracy, not a straw poll, not voting, but clay, relationships, ideas. They are autodidactic, ruminating, fundamentally decent young people. I'm telling you, the river is alive.